than a couple of people going mad. I swear they're rooting hard. Till I might be big in the game like she went and got them breast implants. I said I'm moving too fast, didn't even get a glance. I'm ready to eat up track like I'm seated in a restaurant. If you had swag like mine, you know it's best to flaunt. We aren't hating because you aren't shining like it's neon, rock like kings of Leon. Shooting stars across the galaxy. I stand out, so don't be mad at me. Infiltrate, I'm with my strategy. When I turn up, then I just have to leave. Shooting stars across the galaxy. I stand out, so don't be mad at me. Infiltrate, I'm with my strategy. When I turn up, then I just have to leave. Yeah, shooting. Yeah, shooting. Yeah, shooting. Yeah, shooting shots. Shooting stars. Didn't even get to cross. I said I'm moving too far. Get to glass.
If we try to believe in anything greater than a miracle, it wouldn't be this difficult. If we try to be a negative bull, yeah, we could be taking control, yeah. If we try to believe in anything greater than a miracle, it wouldn't be this difficult. If we try to be a negative bull, yeah, we could be taking control, yeah. Negative bull, yeah, we could be taking control, yeah. Negative bull, yeah, we could be taking control, yeah. Negative bull, yeah, we could be taking control, yeah. Negative bull, yeah, we could be taking control, yeah. If we try to believe in anything greater than a miracle, it wouldn't be this difficult. If we try to be a negative bull, yeah, we could be taking control, yeah. If we try to believe in anything greater than a miracle, it wouldn't be this difficult. If we try to be a negative bull, yeah, we could be taking control, yeah. Negative bull, yeah, we could be taking control, yeah. Negative bull, yeah, we could be taking control, yeah. Negative bull, yeah, we could be taking control, yeah. Negative bull, yeah, we could be taking control, yeah. closer starts to end up on the brink. I tried so hard, but all these scars, they cut so deep I bleed. I fell so fast from heaven, it's like someone clipped my wings. Now I'm falling, and I can't see the ground. Can we stop this gravity? It keeps bringing me down. I can't breathe and I don't wanna die. Can we stop this gravity? 'Cause I don't wanna say goodbye.
Not gonna lie to you kids, it's a fucking jungle out there. Keep your head on tight. Unknown brain and mind me, baby, let's do it. Y'all see me flying, never drop down, smoking high, I am not round, I'm not round, no denying what I got now, keep an eye out, keep it locked down, see me flying, never drop down, smoking high, I am not round, I'm not round, no denying what I got now, keep an eye out, keep it locked down, get too strong when I battle with the beast, bring a few on, the commander and the chief for my crew on.
We got the symptoms of a cold war. All of our troubles are make-believe. We're dying on our own soil. Calling your friends onto the teeth. There's nothing for you, nothing for me. Nothing for sale, nothing for free. You wanna take my life and fade away.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to SFR. We're here for another week and another round of action. Magnet. Anyone want to tell me this intro song? That is Nothing for Free by Pendulum. It is the official Supreme Formula Racing intro song. Glad you enjoyed it. Welcome back to another week of SFR Formula One. Yeah, I am back. Massive thanks to Warder and Master for filling in for the last couple of weeks whilst I've been away for work. My name is Kieran Wright92. I am your regular lead commentator. Normally at this point I would welcome in everyone's favourite lunatic by the name of TES Swayze, but Swayze isn't here yet. So I'm on my own. So it's fine. It's fine. It's not a problem. It's all good. Swayze has promised me he will be here for the start of the race. You can see the Countdown Championship standings on the screen. Constant Ryan currently leading the way for the Williams team. There's been quite a few lead changes here in SFR. Beacon second, Leclerc third, Cam fourth, Vapid in fifth. Kids Let's Go, Generation A, Dom the Noodle, Adam Lee, and TS Big will round out your top 10. Tom Gorian, Alpaca Carbon, who is back tonight. Kirby, Caveman, Christo, Papa Goose, Cal, Matty, TES Sambo, and Stenner in 20th and final position for now. But of course, this is the world of Formula One, so anything could change, and it probably will. It probably will. Those are your constructor standings as well, for anyone who does want to know what the constructor standings currently look like. Williams leading the way on 126 points, with the Haas team of Antis Beacon and Dom the Noodle just behind them on 113, with the Aston Martin team of Mr. TES Leclerc and Flying Caveman, who unfortunately can't race tonight. So Alpaca Carbon is back The Aston Martin reserve driver is here. So he'll be jumping into the car alongside Leclerc. No Big Will either tonight, unfortunately. So Vapid will be running solo in the McLaren team, unfortunately. Mercedes are in 5th place. That is Papa Goose, who is in the chat at the moment, along with WRS Cam. The Red Bull team of Adam Lee and Tom Gorian in 6th place. Alpine's Kizlesko and Cal in 7th. TM Kirby and Christo in 8th for the AlphaTauri Honda team. 9th place is TAS Sambo and SSR Stenner, with Matty 7 Gamer and TAS Science currently bottom of the pile with those 10 points gained from round 1. But as you can hear, the game audio is in the background. Mr. Carbon is in the chat. Chloe is in the chat. Kiss, let's go. Chill. We've said we're waiting, bro. Crikey. I genuinely added you in the Discord, bro. We're waiting. Don't worry. Relax. Let's jump onto the live screen so you guys can see what I can see. And you can see our drivers. We should have 17 of them joining us this evening. We've only got 12 in at the moment. Hopefully that will be sorted very, very soon. Who are we missing? Zlesko is currently repurchasing Xbox Live Gold. He will be with us very shortly. Let me just drop that down just a little bit. There we go. We'll need to keep an eye on the let's keep an eye on the Discord in case anything goes wrong, but I think we're all good. We're just waiting for Don the Noodle, waiting for Antiv Beacon. We're waiting for both Haas drivers. We're waiting for Kizlesko. We are waiting for HT1D Raver. And we are waiting for... Who else are we waiting for? Do it that way. Adam Lee. That's who we're waiting for. Adam Lee, I know, is very close to being home. So he will be joining us very, very shortly. We should be having TES Science as well, thinking about it. We should have 18 drivers. No. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, 18 drivers. We should have 18, which should be a good thing. I need to try and find my remote to turn something off. But I can't seem to find them. Because I have misplaced everything. Because COVID vaccination bit my butt. It's probably the easiest way of putting it. I genuinely don't know. It's fine. We'll live with it. I need to find it. How is everyone doing? I am not too bad, Chloe.
Stay focused.
Vaccination is...
I am focused, don't worry.
We're good now. We are good. Hopefully that way. I know that sound alerts have been playing up a little bit. There's Kizlesko. We now have a Kizlesko. A wild Kizlesko has now appeared. Got Kizlesko. We're still waiting for Adam Lee. We're still waiting for both of the Haas drivers. We're still waiting for TES Science. We should be good for a start very, very shortly. Can you say this every week? You don't. You just join off one of us. It's not hard, my friend. Making sure everything is sorted at my end as well. There's Mr. Adam Lee. I mean, you know what, Corbin? I tend to agree with you there, mate. I do. I tend to agree with you there. F1 and Malibu, very, very good mix, I think. Well, hopefully, Mr. Swayze will be here soon. But it's fine, we can do qualify without Mr. Swayze. Swayze should be here for the race. He's promised me he'll be here for the race, which is good. But we are at 4 minutes past, so we're just waiting for those last few people to jump in, being both Haas drivers, HT1D Raver, and TS Sites. That's providing Sites is awake, of course. I have a funny feeling TS Sites is awake. There is Antithecan. We have 15. We're just waiting now for Dom the Noodle and TS Sites and HT1D Raver. I don't think Raver is going to be around tonight, unfortunately. But we've got 15, so we've got a relatively strong looking grid this evening. But as we are getting ready to go into qualifying, who do we think is going to pick up that top spot in qualifying? Who do we think is on pole, guys? Let's have predictions in the chat. Who do we think is going to be on pole position? I am going to say... I'm going to say Alpaca Carbon. I'm gonna back the reserve driver. Alpaca Carbon's gonna get himself through. There is Carbon in chat. I like the look of that alpaca guy. I'm gonna back him. I'm gonna back Carbon. I think he's a very, very strong driver. I'm not sure whether Austria is one of his favoured tracks. I'm sure Michael can tell us in chat if it is or not. But it's a fast track. It's a track that I think will suit him pretty well. So we should be good. Dom the Noodle, in normal Dom the Noodle fashion, is leaving things incredibly late and is only just walking through his front door now. But he should be joining the lobby momentarily. And then we will get underway with 16 drivers. TS Leclerc giving Noodle a 1 minute warning. If he is not here in 1 minute, we are going to go without him. That gives Swayze 18 minutes to get here. Otherwise, I'm doing the race on my lonesome, which is fine. It's not too bad. We've got to keep everything open around me to make sure that I know exactly what is going on. Oh, that's a good point. Before we forget, guys, at the end of the race tonight, there is a massive, massive announcement that I've been told by TES Leclerc and TES Big Will that you guys definitely want to be here for. So make sure you stick around after the podium interviews for a couple of very, very big announcements in regards to SFR. TS Leclerc has readied up. Alpaca Carbon has readied up. Goose has readied up. Everyone is readying up. Dom the Noodle has not arrived yet, but we will be going without him. He will have to join during Q1. If he misses Q1, of course, he will then start from the back of the pack here in Austria. We are 15 seconds out from the start of qualifying. What I'm going to do is we're going to do what we normally do. We're going to quickly reset the game capture and then reset it again just as we get into qualifying and hope that we don't have the issues that we had back in Australia, I think it was, when we lagged quite a bit. So you'll still be able to hear me, but the screen will temporarily freeze, so just bear with us for just a second, ladies and gents. Do that, and then we go to here, we go to here, Deactivate. Reactivate. And now we should be good. You can see everything loaded up. We've got everything up again. We are all good in the hood. Let's get into qualifying here at the Red Bull Ring in Spielberg, where it looks very, very bright and very, very nice. Are we going to see the classic Kislesko movement? Is it the classic Kislesko? Is Kislesko going to be the first car out? Let's see. Let's wait and see. Kislesko's normally the first car out in a qualify session. Today? Maybe not. Maybe people are... Oh, we've got movement. We've got movement, and there he is! There is Kislesko, the first car out in qualifying here in Austria at the Red Bull Ring in Spielberg. We've got a couple of cars coming out on track now. We have Kislesko as the first car out on track. We've got one of the Ferraris coming out as well. That is TES Sambo in his Ferrari coming out on track as well. Of course, very, very quick lap time here around the Red Bull Ring. It's just over a minute. It's just over a minute for our lap time here. You're looking at about 103, 104 roughly as a lap time on the soft tyre. As you can see, everyone on the soft tyres, of course, this is Q1. So you don't want to be using those medium tyres just yet. The use of the medium tyre will definitely come in the next session, which of course is Q2, where the tyres get locked in. Unless, of course, we have a little bit of rain. But we're with Kislesko now as he comes around these final two corners, sweeping corners here in the Red Bull Ring. Don't want to go too close to that outside curb on exit of turn 10. Only 10 corners here in Spielberg. Kislesko comes around turn 1. We've got a yellow flag in sector 2. I think that's the Mercedes of Upper Goose going for a little spin. Kislesko coming up to the tough braking zone, tight braking zone of turn 3. Runs that very, very nicely, just brushing the apex of that corner. DRS wide open on that Alpine. Drive running down here as fast as you can, trying to get yourself up to a top speed. Watch your braking zone in for turn 4. 5, 5, 4, 1 of the 2. Can never remember. Yes, 5, 6, 7. Nope. So that's 8. Ooh. Kislesko has invalidated his lap. That's less than ideal. We're going to jump down to Sambo. Sambo's lap is still valid. He comes around turn 7. Don't want to get too close to those curbs, Sambo. You're all good though, bud. Round turns 8 and round turns 9 and 10. That Alpine does sound insane. Yeah, it really does. Sambo's going to be setting time to beat. The first time of qualifying is a 106.768 by TES Sambo in the Ferrari. Don Noodle has decided to join us this evening. Nope, we want Papa Goose. He comes around turns 9 and 10. Making sure he doesn't invalidate on that outside curb. I think that's where a lot of people are going to invalidate their lap times. There's the 104s that I was talking about earlier. Packer Carbon now on the run up to the line. He has invalidated that line that time, I think. So that's a 107 invalidated for Alpaca Carbon. Who else have we got? Is Lesko go for another lap, potentially? I think he is. He is. Going to come around this final corner now, making sure he doesn't invalidate. Run up to the line now. For Kislesko, he crosses the line with a 104.588. And that is P2 as it stands for Kislesko here in this first qualifying session. Let's see who else we've got around on track. Alpaca Carbon looks to be still on a bit of a push lap. Oh, maybe not. No, he's definitely not on a push lap. 44 seconds. And he's not got to the end of sector 2. So it's very much a... potentially probably a banker lap from Carbon. Maybe got stuck in a little bit of traffic. coming round through sector 2 there. He will finish the lap off anyway. Oh, be careful not to invalidate around that final corner, Carbon. You are all good. Oof. I said that it wasn't a hot lap. It definitely was a hot lap. That's a 103.8 by Alpaca Carbon. Fantastic lap time there for the Aston Martin reserve driver. Kizlesko is going to come into the pits. Of course, as always with the Austrian Grand Prix, if there are any drivers from SFR listening to the stream, please make your intentions known when you're going into the pits. Stay wide to the right hand side of the run down to the final 2 corners, just so anyone behind you knows you are definitely entering the pits. Please do not have the issues that we had last season, where there were a couple of drivers that got into a significant amount of trouble for running over those white lines. So please make sure that you do make your intentions known if you are going to come into the pits here in Spielberg. Dom the Noodle now is going to set a lap time in his Haas. Up into turn 1. We're going to ride on board with the Haas driver. He's invalidated already. That's less than ideal for him. Instead, we'll go to his teammate, Anti Beacon, who is about to start a hot lap himself. In fact, saying that, Stenner's just ahead. In fact, Stenner's in sector 2 on the lap. Stenner's on a slow lap. Very slow lap. Stenner. Who have we got around? Cal. We do have Cal. Cal's coming around the final corner now. Run up to the line for Cal 17 F1 in the Alpine. That is P6 for that Alpine driver. We're going to come around now to Adam Lee, who is on the medium tyre. Very interesting decision there by Adam Lee to use the medium tyres in Q1. Hopefully he has remembered that this is full quali. And he's not got it in his head that we are only doing a short qualifying session. We shall see as Adam Lee comes around turn 1. A little kink here. The FIA do class as a turn. That is turn 2. Up into your braking zone of turn 3. Down the hill now. DRS wide open on that Red Bull. Got himself a fair bit of clean air into the hard braking zone of turn 5. Just guide the car around. Don't do an Alexander Albon against Lewis Hamilton. In through 6 and 7 we go now. There is turn 7. Adam Lee up on his time at the moment. There is turn 8. Just a double right-hander of 9-10 left to go. There is 9. Here comes 10. Now the run up to the line for Adam Lee. What's he going to be able to do? No slot. Sector 3 lets him down there. But Adam Lee remains where he is in P5. We have got an Aston Martin of TES Leclerc just about to start making his way around this track. Make his way back around this track, I should say. This one. Some level of comfort. Got a yellow flag in sector 2. That is a slow moving Ferrari. That's no, that's Stenner. There's Stenner going quite slowly here. He is up on his time. He has invalidated, unfortunately. Less than ideal there for Stenner. He's going to slow down to let Leclerc pass. Generation A puts himself top of the timing sheets. A 1:03.848 for Generation A. Vapid Coot is now on his way out. Whoa, Adam Lee gets very, very squirrely there. Coming out of turn 1. It's very, very well to hold it there. There's Leclerc, 1:03.797 for TES Leclerc. We're going to jump in, see what Vapid Coot can get himself up to, see what sort of trouble Vapid can do. We have got Dom the Noodle just ahead on a lap. Antiv Beacon just crosses the line now with a 103.770. So we'll watch Dom the Noodle, then we'll jump down to Vapid Coot. 8 minutes left in Q1. Antiv Beacon currently leads the top of the timing sheets. 27 thousandths of a second ahead of TES Leclerc. Generation 8 in third. Alpaca Carbon currently fourth. Kirby in fifth. Adam Lee in sixth. We are, of course, only going to lose one driver from this qualifying session. At the moment, that is WRS Cam, as he is yet to set a lap time. This is a lap time from Dom the Noodle. This is an incredibly slow lap time from Dom the Noodle. I think the timing screens may potentially be... The timing screens were definitely messed up though. That was invalidated by Dom the Noodle. It was a 108. And Vapid has also invalidated. It's less than ideal. Starting to get into the part of qualifying now where you start getting the traffic, because people want to try and get themselves back out for lap times. All the while other people are trying to set times as well. We're all good for now. We have not got too many people on track, but it could get a little bit spicy towards the end of this session. Cal 17 F1 is the furthest car ahead on a hot lap. And we will jump to the Alpine, and again we will listen to the beautiful, beautiful sounding Alpine car. Down into turn 5. Past Albon corner. Into the double left of 6 and 7. Double right hander now of 9-10. Finish off the lap. Here comes Cal now on the run up to the line. Cal 17 F1 improves by 6/10. Puts himself P10. Just like that, Vapid Coot takes P10 away from him and drops Cal down to P11. And I think that was Cam that's just coming and putting the time. It was indeed Cam. She's putting a lap time, a 1:03.823 from WRS Cam. So that is P3 for Cam as it stands. We're going to find Kislesko, who's currently in P10. He is up on his time. He moves himself up into P6 as we move into the final 5 minutes now of qualifying 1 here in Austria. Who have we got coming around next? Is that Chris? Yep, Christo's just starting a hot lap now, as is Stenner in the Ferrari just ahead of him. Is Lesko, I'm going to assume, is going to come back into the pits now. Yeah, he is very much on a slow lap. Cal is going again though. Slight improvement from Cal, doesn't change his position. Oh no, does change his position. He goes above Vapid, up into P11. Here he comes. He's out on his out lap. Mr. Constant Ryan, Season 4 Drivers' Champion. The man to beat here this season. Cam retires from the session. Vapid Coot making sure that he sticks to the right-hand side of that double right-hander, just to make his intentions very, very clear that he is coming into the pits. That's the sort of line we would like drivers to take this evening. They are going to go into the pits. Christo goes P11. Stenner goes top of the timing screens, a 1:03.295 from SSR Stenner. Cal 17 F1 is now going to come into the pits. But the line you saw Cal take there, guys, that's the line we're hoping drivers are going to take this evening. That's how we know whether a driver is going to be going into the pits or not. Into the final 3.5 minutes now of qualifying. Just waiting for Mr. Swayze to arrive alongside me in the concourse. I'm going to make sure he hasn't just sneaked in and not let me know that he snuck in. he hasn't. We are good. Here comes Constant Ryan, though. Run up to the line now. Is he going to drop into second place? He does. 103.474 in Q1 here for Constant Ryan. Dom the Noodle on a hot lap. Into the final 3 minutes we go now. At the moment we are going to lose Sambo. Sambo is still in the pit, so if he is going to come out, he's got about a minute or so to come back out to be able to set a lap time. Dom the Noodle still valid. I somehow don't think that that's actually correct. I actually think Dom may be on an out lap. It's just the game being the game and bugging in normal Cody fashion. But we'll see as it crosses the line whether it does move Dom the Noodle. It was a 104.229. So no, that was actually an out. The game was considering that Dom was on a hot lap. He definitely was not. Now Dom the Noodle's on a hot lap and he's invalid. That's less than Vapid on an out lap. Cal on an out lap. Papa Goose, Adam Lee both on out lap. Constant Ryan is going to come into the pits. He does. Carbon invalidates, so moves out of the way. Constant Ryan retires from the session. He feels that he is pretty safe, as is a Beacon. Jump to Vapid. Vapid is on a lap round turn 3 now. And the run down to turn 4 comes Vapid Coup. You can see the top 6 all retiring from Q1. They've done all they feel they need to. They are safe in their minds. It's a battle at the bottom of the timing screens that we are looking at the moment, though. Vapid Coup, TES Sambo, Cal 17 F1, SC Cristo. Those are the guys that are technically at risk. Vapid's 4/10 up on his lap at the moment. This could put Vapid Coup up into about P13, maybe even P12 if he can put together a strong third sector. He looks pretty good. Run up to the line now for Vapid Coup. He's going to cross the line. Improves by half a second. Goes to P13. Not enough to overtake Papa Goose. But that should, all being well for Vapid, unless the guys around him put in absolutely barnstorming laps, I think Vapid could be pretty safe with that time. Unfortunately, Sambo is still 8/10 off the pace to get himself to where Cal 17 F1 is. Adam Lee in P11 feels he's done all he needs to. He retires from the session as well. Cal 17 F1 coming around now. The final 2 corners here in Spielberg. Making sure he doesn't invalidate his lap. It's all good. Run up to the line now for Cal. Does he improve? He does not improve. He stays P15. Cal 17 F1 could be at serious risk here. Say that Sambo has invalidated, so Cal survives. Cal survives. Alpaca goes P3. But that is going to be TES Sambo leaving us in qualifying 1. Sambo is your casualty this evening in Q1. Cristo survives, Cal survives, Vapid survives as well. Try and see if we can find out where Mr. Swayze is. Where is Mr. Swayze? Now you looking dude. We'll see where Swayze is. We're just waiting for all cars to come back into the pits now. And then we will be good to end the first qualifying session here in Austria. With SSR Stenner. The Ferraris bookending the timing screen. Stenner at the top. Sambo unfortunately at the bottom. He is going to be the car that we do unfortunately lose at the end of Q1 as those last couple of cars come into the pits now. almost lost my phone. Just waiting for Alpaca to be rolled into his garage along with Cal. Alpaca retires. Waiting for Cal to get rolled in now, and then we will be all good. There we go. That does wrap up Q1. As we say, Stenner top of the timing screens. Constant Ryan second, Alpaca third, Beacon fourth, Leclerc in fifth, Cam in sixth, Generation A seventh, Kislesko eighth, Dom the Noodle ninth, Kirby in 10th, Adam Lee 11th, Papagoose in 12th, Vapid in 13th, Christo 14th, Cal in 15th place survives, and TAS Sambo is unfortunately the car that we do lose from Q1 here in Austria. You need Nakokon for the rest of the quality. Sam, if you want to jump in, you can feel free, buddy. I don't have Swayze at the moment, so if you do want to jump in, feel free. You are more than welcome to do so. We may be joined by Mr. TAS Sambo for the remainder of qualifying until Mr. Swayze is able to get himself here. And there is Mr. Sambo. Let's just get everything turned up. At my end. Just so we can hear Mr. Sambo. There we go. We should now be able to hear Mr. Sambo. Good evening, sir.
Hello. Yeah. Didn't go well.
What was it? Just a lack of pace, or just couldn't
Yeah,
stay
lack
together?
of pace. Yeah, lack of pace. That's probably the best way of describing it.
We've got the wonderful TAS Amber now joining us for the remainder of qualifying. Gives you guys a chance to get a driver's insight into some of these corners. And we see Kislesko. Oh, Kislesko's not the first person out for once.
I think it was Adam Lee who's first, actually. And following right behind, of course, is Dom the Noodle. You know, how much those two love each other.
Adam Lee that leads the way. Please, boys, nothing silly. You can hear Sambo fine. That's what we like to hear, Chloe. Please, boys, nothing crazy. I think we're good.
Oh, and he's just let Dom the Noodle go through, so Dom the Noodle, I think, will be first to set a lap time.
Will be our lead car here in Q2. Of course, this is round 6 of SFR Season 5. And as we said at the start of the stream, guys, make sure you stick around after the podium interviews. 2 big announcements coming from the world of SFR. So I will be joined in the party after the race by TAS Leclerc. And if he is around, because the last I heard he was fitting a cooker. But providing he's back in time, we will have TAS Big Will in the party with us as well for these 2 blockbuster announcements. There we go. Leclerc has just confirmed it will just be him. So it will be TAS Leclerc joining us in the party after the podium interviews. That's providing, of course, Leclerc doesn't get onto the podium himself for 2 big blockbuster announcements in regards to the future of SFR. And look at that! Better late than never. He is here. He is here. The one, the only, arguably the voice of Supreme Formula Racing in recent weeks, since I have not been around. The one, the only, TAS Swayze. Good evening, Trace.
Good evening, Karen. Good evening.
4-0 for Noodle on the mediums.
Let's go going just ahead of him.
But yeah, I do apologise for my late arrival. I had a blood clot. Not clotting.
Ooh,
And
Goose!
Goose has been disqualified. I don't know what that's about.
Papa Goose apparently going the wrong way. I can only assume
I
he
think
spun.
he was trying to turn around.
Yeah, I think he spun at turn 6. He's tried to get himself facing the right way. And has been driving in the wrong
Do you
direction
want me-
for too long.
Do you want me to stay in tonight, or you want to let Sambo do it?
Oh, Sam's literally just here.
Because I think it might get a little bit confusing if 3 of us is talking.
It's literally just the fact that Sam was here because I was coming on my own. Q1.
Yeah. I understand that. I get
think
that.
Sam's going to be dropping out when we go into.
Are you not racing, Sam?
Yeah, I'm going back to the race one for the actual race. It's just because I have nothing to do for the rest of qualifying.
How did you qualifying go?
Not well.
Oh, we've had someone round. That was one of the Red Bull.
Yeah, so a little bit of insight for people listening. What you want for this session is, if you want a bit of insight on strategy for this one, it's a soft medium strat or it's a medium soft strat. So that's what your strategy is and what you're looking at for the race. Tyre wear is fairly low, or in a track like this, and obviously with it being such a short lap, you can easily get 2 laps in a set of tyres, and it doesn't put too much wear on your tyres.
If it would be possible, could I get a game invite, please?
I'll do that just now.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Sambo is going to invite Swayze into a game. There is your insight, guys. So
there you go.
Expect a one-stop strategy from cars this evening.
Yep. So I'd expect a lot of people to use the mediums, potentially maybe for bankers, or maybe later on when the tire evolution or the track evolution gets a little bit better. Unless people lower down the order decide to go for the soft tires, and that may trigger some people to go for the soft compound tires just to maybe get themselves through, or people who may be a bit lower half in the top 10.
There we go. As it stands at the moment, pretty much everyone is on those medium tyres, with the exception of Cal 17 F1, Adam Lee, and Vapid Coot.
And if Beacon just coming around to finish his lap.
What are we in, Q3?
No, Q2, bro.
He goes P6.
P6.
Nice,
Beacon. We've got a couple of cars very, very close to
The
another.
other cars currently in a lap at the moment is Stenner in the Ferrari.
It's your teammate.
Yes.
How has life with
He was
Stenner
purple in Sector 1 by the looks of it.
Indeed, he was.
He was the quickest in Q1, so I'd expect him to carry his pace across into Q2.
Very, very true. There is Swayze. He is now finally in game with us. How has anything sort of changed from you, Sambo? Now, obviously, the start of the season, you didn't really have a teammate. But obviously now we've been able to bring in Stenner. Stenner is obviously teaming up with you for the rest of the season. Do you and Stenner have a chance to chat sort of pre-race and work things out?
I'm not really had a chat with my teammate yet, but I'm kind of just letting his drive and do the talking for it. Sometimes you don't really need to have someone who says a lot, really, as we see there, 103.3 on the medium compound tyres, about 2/10 quicker than Cam in the Mercedes. But it's more about just letting someone just get on with the job, really.
It's very true. If you've got a competent teammate, you know, and the pace shows on track, I feel like the majority of the time where you only really need specific communication is regarding
Close the next one to
in and
start a
around
lap,
the
by
pit
the way.
stop to make sure that you don't double stack. Other than that, you're alright, I think.
It is the Aston Martin of TS Leclerc, and I was able to have a quick chat with Jamie before we started the stream, and he seemed pretty happy with the setup that he's got tonight. He said that the car feels pretty planted, so he is feeling somewhat confident.
To note, Adam Lee has gone on to the soft compound tyres for his first run, but he hasn't validated the first corner, so we won't really be able to see if he's improved as of quite yet. So I think he will go back around again.
Definitely keeping an eye on Adam Lee as we watch Leclerc come up to the final corner.
I'm just wondering to myself whether this weekend will be the weekend that the luck actually goes with Antef Beacon after dropping numerous places on the podium over the previous 2 races before. I mean, he was absolutely flying in the wet the other week, and then obviously he lost a place around China as well. So maybe his week.
It's only 109.3 for Christo, but that was not a good lap from him. I was kind of following him around, so you will be going again.
We'll see what Adam Lee's time would have been, despite him invalidating it.
Would have been a 1 minute 5.1.
So it would have put him P9, just behind Cal.
Vapid is also on a lap as well in the McLaren. in the end of sector 1.
Packer.
Was on the Noodle off. If you want me to keep an eye on Vapid, if you want to keep an eye on Noodle and see what happens.
Noodle here he is, back to P7. He is 9 thousandths of a second up. Oh, he's invalidated. That's not ideal.
So, it's a little update on the gaps at the moment. Looking at this at the moment is currently 0.7 of a second covering the top 7.
There is indeed a 103.3 from Stenner, a 104.0 from the Noodle in P7. So you can see just how
Vapid's about to come around, by the way, sorry to disturb you. He's coming around the final corner.
See what Vapid can do, he keeps it clean.
See what he can do.
Up to the line now.
1 minute 6.9. Vapid has a real. Vapid seems to have been a little bit. He struggled a little bit in qualifying so far. He hasn't looked as he's quickest, but maybe that's to do with the hardware he's using, or maybe he's just not found he's picked up his mojo yet. Maybe one of those two things.
It's just trying to find his groove, I think, from a Vapid Coupe perspective. Oh, Swayze may be able to say his favourite line in about 1 minute and 10 seconds time, as Constant Ryan is out on track.
Oh, Cal has retired. Cal, I think, has lost on the pit
Oh my
straight.
gosh, he has!
Oh, that is an awesome
That is a
spot.
very,
But
very
I think
awesome
I think that's him out of qualifying because he's on the bubble at the moment, and I'm expecting Leclerc, Adam Lee, and Constant Ryan to improve. Speaking of Constant Ryan, he is on a lap, but I think he's backed out of the lap. I'm not sure though.
Well, I wouldn't expect Adam Lee and Vapid to stay down there, that's for sure. Rather than
of Vapid. Here comes
Maybe not
Vapid.
big. Well, bear in mind Adam Lee maybe had some issues in his lap.
Good lap.
These laps.
Good lap from Vapid.
That's the thing with these tyres. Because the tyre wear is so low, you can do 2 laps on these tyres and they'll still be absolutely fine. Because of the fuel as well. The fuel, even on like 6 kilos of fuel, you still have enough fuel for 2 laps. If you're careful enough with it going round on the outlap.
So moving from the Noodle.
Constant Ryan just coming around to finish his lap, by the way, as well. So.
Let's see what Ryan can do as he comes around.
He's on the medium compound tyres.
So the line now, as we see the wheel of.
It's only P12. I think he must have made a mistake on that lap.
Probably more of a banker than anything for Constant Ryan, so expect to see him go again.
Yep. I expect it, although we've got about 3 minutes, and the last lap times you can leave the pits around with is about 2 minutes 20. I would say the last day you can leave the pits is about 2 minutes 20, 2 minutes 30, because of the length of track, or the length of the lap around here. And make it round sort of safely.
Constant Ryan is 1.7.
That's Kirby as well. I don't know what's happened to Kirby. I think Kirby's lost it in the middle sector.
We're watching Constant Ryan at the moment to see what happens. As Adam Lee.
Adam Lee as well.
Also retired. He's retired in the pits.
He's in the pits. That's in the pits. So I don't know what's happened to him. So I think this will be an improvement from Constant Ryan this time, though.
It's going to be a big improvement by Constant Ryan. He was 3.3 seconds up on that sector 2 split time. He's come round the final corner now. This is the Season 4 Drivers' Champion. Can he do Constant Ryan things?
Could it be a 1 minute 4? A 1 minute 3.8? P9 only.
The cusp. He is on the cusp, boys.
Although looking at it, the only person that can really not... He's actually... I think Constant Ryan may well be just about safe unless Christo can find another...
He needs to find a fair bit of time.
Full second?
Christo doesn't want to find anything anytime. Christo wants to stay where Christo is and start on a fresh set in prime position.
So I think Constant Ryan, even though that lap time's not the best, I think he might be safe there. I can't imagine though we'll have much more activity, I think, in this session now, knowing the fact that the Q2 is pretty much fully sorted out now, I'd say.
Yeah.
Well, I think Kezlesko is actually on a... Is Kezlesko on a second push lap?
He looks like it. He is half a tenth up as it stands.
Yep. 0.051 up.
We'll see what Kezlesko can do with the yellow flag.
So he's wanting to improve on that P10 spot, but he's not really going to improve much. He'd only really improve his P10 spot. He wouldn't really do anything apart from add some tyre wear on, really.
I can confirm, Christo is in the chat and he is confirming to us that he is not going out again.
1 minute 4.1. He was slower in the final sector. He lost his advantage in the final sector somewhere.
He did indeed, but
I think that's a smart strategy from Christo. I mean,
He's
got
going
prime
again.
position for fresh tyres.
So Christo will not be going back out. So the top 10 is set. Stenner, Cam, Vapid, Noodle, Beacon, Carbon, Generation A, Leclerc, Constant Ryan, and the man currently on screen, Kislesko, are safe from qualifying. Those will be your top 10. We'll see what Kislesko can do this time. Obviously, he doesn't really want to be running this
he's gonna have
too
done.
much.
Just a note though, he's gonna have done 3 laps on these medium compound tires.
Again, he's about half a
He's
tenth
not
up.
the only one though. Alpaca Carbon's come through that.
Carbon's done 3 on his.
So he may have to go for an airline
Leclerc-
pit stop in the race potentially.
Leclerc has also done 3 laps on his. We'll see.
So does Parker Carbon actually. He's done 3 laps on his tires too.
We'll see what
Hey, welcome to the conversation.
It's not going to be an improvement again for Kinsler. Oh, he improves marginally.
Very slight improvement by
It
Kislesko.
was a 0.047
So
improvement.
he's going to keep him in P10.
Ante Beacon has decided to go back out again. I think he's actually backed out of it though. He's just kind of coasting around. But anyone there you think that stands out as not being, you reckon that's a bit out of place or a bit higher up than where you think they would be?
Probably not in terms of being higher than they we would expect them to be. The shootout for the top 10 in SFR this season has been so close. But I will say Adam Lee down in P13 is a bit of a shock. I think Sways can probably agree there.
I'd have to agree with that. Yeah, he's been flying recently. He's done really well in China. He put in a great performance and definitely would expect to see him inside the top 10. But that said, we know SFR is improving at a rapid rate and there is some really fast drivers in here.
Yep, there are indeed. Beacon stick.
Yep.
Beacon's actually going to go across them.
Also, that tyre from Cal's car still in the middle of the final, is on the final straight still. It hasn't been moved.
That's normally what happens. So Kislesko now comes into the pits, gets dragged into his pit box, and that will then bring us to the end of Q2, where we have lost SC Christo, Cal 17 F1, Adam Lee, TM Kirby, and a disqualified Papa Goose.
I think he got a little bit unlucky there with that, to be honest. He probably had a lot of... Well, the game does do that thing where if you try and turn around, the game just goes no, it just disqualifies you for some odd reason.
Something Swayze knows all too well.
Yep, been there, done that.
But Stenner, second session in a row, topping the timing screens.
Yep, although bear in mind, qualifying is one thing, race is quite the other. You can have a lot of qualifying pace, but then not have it in the race.
Yes, indeed.
So you'll be hoping he has a little bit more luck than last week.
Indeed, so Stenner currently P1, Cam P2, Vapid third, Dom the Noodle, the only car in the top 10 on softs, Beacon in 5th, Alpaca 6th, Generation A in 7th, Leclerc 8th, Constant Ryan 9th, and Kislesko in 10th, losing Christo, Cal, Adam Lee, Kirby, and Papa Goose. So, as we normally do, Sways, we're going into Q3 now. Who's your prediction for pole?
I haven't seen the drivers on the soft. Well, all the ones that were then currently on the medium. I've not yet seen them on the soft. However, I am aware that this is one of the tracks where those drivers on no traction, especially those who were learning this year, like Dom, you know, it's an easier track for no traction, which could explain why they're faster. I think I saw Dom and maybe Ante Beacon and somebody else on softs in Q2 though to stay with the mediums, but. As always, you know, Constant Ryan is always hard to beat, but Anti-Vegan Stenner, and I'm going to go with Cam actually for a change. I actually feel Cam for pole this week. How about that one?
There we go. Mr. Sambo.
Alright, and I think the first car I think is going to be Kislesko in the Alpine. But
who's your prediction?
I think if I'm going to go for I'm going to go for Anti-Vegan, I think.
Okay. I'm going to go with the man who's top both timing screens so far. I'm going Stenner.
Yeah, it'll wait. Well, I think we'll have to wait and see with Stenner when it comes to the race. If he's actually got the consistency in the race to go along with these qualifying pace. I think actually Cam got past, so I think Cam will be first to set a lap.
Let's go. You can see the cars warming up their tyres.
Yep. So what lap times do you reckon we're going to see in this final session then? Dipping into the 1 minute, the high minute twos, potentially?
I,
Low
I would have
threes?
assumed so with some of the 1 minute
We were hitting
3.4s,
threes in-
3.5s on the
We were
mediums.
hitting threes in Q2 on mediums, so I think everyone going up full whack Q3. I think we're going to drop into Q2.
I'm not. Do you know, Sambo, what when you're in the garage on the computer, what the actual?
The way it's dry
time
through it,
difference
like,
between the softs?
it's a dry, entirely
Yeah,
dry
that's not
session.
what I was asking. If you listen. You know when it tells you the difference in lap time between the softs and the mediums, do you know how much faster the softs are around here on average?
I didn't have a
You
chance
could
to
work
check
it
the
out.
mediums because I didn't use them. So
Fair enough.
Cam has
I just had to use the
validated.
softs to maybe have a chance of getting out of Q1, and that
He's
was not going to
normally,
happen.
normally I would say minimum of a good half of a second difference between the softs and the mediums, depending on
Some of
the
that, I
track.
think,
Sometimes it's up to 1.2.
for this as well, I think Sways will come down to track evolution as well.
Oh, Stem have a half spin there? No, he did. He was
I mean, this guy that's on stream right now, Generation A, I've got to say, like in China, when he got onto them hard tyres, he put in one hell of a drive to keep up and get that double Williams podium.
Indeed, he did. Obviously, I was watching that from elsewhere. Again, a massive, massive shout out and a thanks to both Tubemaster and Warder for filling in for the past 2 weeks whilst I have been away for work. Chance we may need to rely on one of you guys again next week.
Because let's go with the initial lap time, we'll 1 at 4.1. I'm just on board with Constant Ryan, see what he does.
Beacon 104 dead. There's Alpaca.
1 minute 3.5.
5 from Alpaca.
I'm expecting Constant Ryan, a 1 minute 3.4.
Constant Ryan doing Constant Ryan things! Sitting on top of the table.
Generation A.
Bear in mind though,
Teammate crosses the line now.
a 1 minute 3.4 as well.
499 for Generation
It's a 1
A.
minute 1 minute 3.487 for Constant Ryan, and it's a 1 minute 3.499 for Generation A.
12.
I tell you, those two Williams are performing well recently.
They really, really are. Vapid goes P3.
Rapid goes third.
Rapid P3. We're going to go with Kizlesko now.
I think Stener's going to be the next one to cross the line. He's purple in sector 2, I think.
I know.
He's invalidated, so he will not be improving on that lap.
I know he
So
will be
will be
watching.
Leclerc next up.
I know he'll be watching on the stream. I think, is he just exiting the pits now? Yes, he is. Mr. Cam, come on.
Leclerc's backed
Do
off the
not
lap,
let
which
me
means
down.
he's not happy with that either.
I've got you for pole, Cam. I've got, you know you've got it in there somewhere.
See what happens.
Bear in mind though, I think particular for Dom, he needs to qualify as high up as possible because he's starting the soft compound tyres. Whereas, so he'll have the advantage on the race start of having tyres that will heat up quicker than everyone around him who is on the medium compound.
Indeed. It's a very, very good thing and a good point to make there, Sam. Dom, obviously the only person in this top 10 that will be starting on those soft tyres. Everyone else on the mediums. Looks like Cam is going to be...
However, depending on safety cars and such, he will be a little bit slower in the second stint after his pit stop, whereas everyone else will be in the soft compound tyres, so I think Dom will have to make it count in the early stages, I reckon. So we may well see Dom being a little bit more aggressive in the early stages, but when is that not normal for Dom?
Very, very good point there. We've only got one car out on track, so we will keep an eye on him. And it's Swayze's prediction.
And he's purple.
He is purple in sector 1.
Yep, it was a 19 something in the first sector.
Come on, Cam, let's do this. No bias, come on.
Well, he has pretty much the entire track to himself, so...
Does indeed. Comes down through Albon.
I think we have a Haas coming out as well, so that's either Dom the Noodle or Anta who's coming out to start their lap next as well. And a... Yep. Cam is purple in sector 2 and he's spun!
He's lost it on the curb!
The curbs on this game are deadly.
Ooh, Cam! That was a brown trouser moment there from WRS Cam. He's going to have to go again.
All this back. Nice helmet!
That, I believe, is the... I think it's the Casper Ackerman one, or the Devon Butler one from Breaking Point. And then they started searching correctly.
Splattered the barrier on the way in.
Yes. Beacon is going to be
I mean-
the first person to stand that time. Around this second.
One thing I
Yep.
do know that is important.
Antis Beacon
not
will
to do
be the
here-
first car up, and then after him will be Constant Ryan, because he was the one that followed him out the pits. So I'll keep an eye on Constant Ryan if you want to keep an eye on Antis Beacon.
Problem, Samba. As you were saying, Twice?
Of course, one thing I do know from previous experience of watching people around here is it can be quite easily binned exiting the pit lane.
Naming no name greenness. Wait, what? Who said that?
What? I did not say a name.
No
honestly.
one said any names. Don't know what you're on about. So Beacon a 10th down at the moment in his first sector.
So Constant Ryan is about a 10th down in his time in the first sector.
See how these guys do now. It's coming down the hill round turn 5, which is what I like to call Albon Corner, because that's where Alexander Albon was murdered a couple of years ago by Lewis Hamilton. And laid waste to any chance of a podium. 1.117 down for Antis Beacon at the moment.
0.026 of improvement in the middle sector for Constant Ryan.
Antis does invalidate, so we're going to jump now to Constant Ryan.
I think he's... Nope, he is still going. Nope, he's backed off.
He has backed off a lap. He is going to come into the pit. Clearly not happy with...
I wonder if he will use these tyres again, maybe to go for another lap. I think the next person to go for a lap is... I think it's Leclerc. He's coming around the final corner. Or penultimate, I should say.
Here he comes, TS Leclerc. Rounds the final
Nice,
corner.
very clean exit around the final
Right
corner.
to the line now, Leclerc goes P5.
3.5. He goes just behind his teammate.
There's not much difference between the two Aston Martins there.
No,
1-0.
Pacan validated, I think, so
1-0.
he didn't improve. Vapid will be next to come round. Whoa, that's a big wobble off the curb there for Vapid there.
It's about 300.
It's not going to be an improvement for him there, so I think he would have backed off, and it's going to ruin his chance of an hour lap, unless he wants to slow it down and go for an hour lap after that, unless he goes straight away.
We shall see. Cam is just starting a hot lap now. Stenner's out on an out lap.
He is. He's just behind Cam on track. So we're still waiting for my prediction and of course your prediction to set an actual time in this qualifying session.
Indeed, Stenner is now setting
He
a
is
time
purple
up.
in sector 1 again.
As indeed, Cam comes down the hill now towards turn 5, 4. 1, 2, 3, yeah, 4. Round Albon corner. Now down the double left-handers of 5, 6, 6, 7. That is turn
Purple
7,
2.
Purple in sector 2 for Cam. There is turn 8. Only a double right-hander to contend with now for WRS Cam. Can he keep it valid? Don't want to run those curbs too much.
I think he
Let's
can
see if
this time.
Run up to the line now for WRS Cam. Can he
Gonna
put
be
himself
in
on top of the timing screen? Yes, he can!
1 minute 33.
1:03, 3:78 for WRS Cam. That is provisional pole position for the
Oh,
Mercedes
he's got pole
driver.
position by 0.109.
Just
Wow,
over a
okay,
tenth.
I didn't look at how close the top there. Putting it this way, Kieran, the top 4 are covered by 0.137.
Well, you can go a little bit further than that, Sam. You've got Leclerc in P6. The top 6 are separated by 0.2 of a second. That is how close the racing is here in SFR in Season 5. Both of the Williams drivers out on out laps as we speak, along with Dominu and Antis Beacon, both
Oh,
of the
Stenner's
Haas
purple
drivers.
in sector 1.
See what Stenner can do. Slight improvement of 0.02 up for Stenner as it stands. Yeah, 1:12.2, very much a banker lap by Stenner. We'll see what Stenner can do as he looks to try and finish off this lap here in Spielberg. But a yellow flag in sectors 1 and 2. That's just
If he doesn't get it this lap, he has
I think
to
that's
stay out.
Leclerc getting out of the way, because Lesgo's hasn't validated, so he will not be improved. Neither will Antis Beacon.
2.6 second improvement by Stenner in sector 2. Can he line up sector 3 as well as he's been able to try and line up sectors 1 and 2? Comes up to the line now. SSR Stenner push it on pole. 1:02.9.
102.9.
We've dipped into the 1:02s and Cam has retired from the session in the pits. Constant Ryan is
You
2
thought he had
tenths up.
pole there until Stenner basically, I think it took a while, but Stenner got the lap eventually.
Good indeed. Here comes the Constant Ryan. Can he do Constant
Next
Ryan
Only
things?
driver and
It's P2. He pushes Cam further down.
yeah, oh yeah. So far, only
It's Dom
one
Noodle
driver.
next up, I think.
1-4 at the moment. 2-4 as it stands at the moment for the
Dom Noodle does not improve, he's only P8.
the Williams team. Dom stays P8.
If anybody else can get even into the 102s at this moment in time.
Let's see what Vapid can do. Vapid is just starting a lap now. We've got a few cars that are just starting their final flying laps. Stenner's obviously, yep, Stenner's very much.
Alpaca Carbon will be the fight. Alpaca Carbon got to the line with 2 seconds remaining, I think, so he will be the final car across the line.
It's Constant Ryan pushing. Constant Ryan is not pushing. Is Generation A pushing?
I think he is pushing.
C. Generation A. Is he up on his time? He is up on his time.
Yeah, he is. He's purple in sector 2.
We'll see what Generation A can do in the Williams. He knows that Cam has already retired from the session. All he needs to do is try and improve by about what, half?
Oh,
a
that's
second, I
wide.
think.
That's an invalidation of the final
It
corner.
is unfortunately at 103.3. It would have.
No, Cam.
It would have put him above Cam. It would have put him into P3.
Yeah.
Beacon goes
Active was
P3.
P3. 103.3.
We'll see what.
And Vapid, I think Vapid's going to be the next one. Oh, Leclerc's kind of crashed the final corner.
Indeed.
I think I'll put Vapid off a little bit.
Alpaca's invalidated. Alpaca Carbon has invalidated, so that is going to bring us to the end of qualifying.
That would have been a 103.3 for Alpaca Carbon if he hadn't
So
invalidated.
again, that would have put him in and around Constant Ryan and Cam's times, but it is SSR Stenner in the Ferrari, puts himself on pole position, 3/10 ahead of Constant Ryan, with Antif Beacon in third for the Haas team, Cam in fourth, Generation A in fifth, Vapid in sixth, Alpaca seventh, Leclerc in eighth, Dom the Noodle ninth, and Kislesko rounds out the top 10. Thank you, Mr. Leclerc. 21:06 is your start time. You've got 5 minutes to get yourself prepared and ready for the race, Sam. Massive, massive thank you for jumping into the cons box throughout qualifying. Greatly, greatly appreciated.
Oh, yeah.
And good luck in the race, my friend.
Yep. Be about just keeping out of trouble basically for me. So hopefully that's what happens.
Sure you will.
So I wish you guys the best, and yeah, probably won't see you at the end because I'll probably not be that quick.
No problem. Good luck, bud.
Alright, see you later.
Well, there we go. Massive thanks to TAS Samba. But it is just Swayze and I now at the moment. Blueberry Dogs, thank you for the follow. Welcome to SFR. Hopefully you enjoy your stay here with us. It's been a while.
21:06
It is
start.
indeed. It's been a while since we spoke. Wait, it's been a couple of weeks. Obviously, I've been away.
Yes, welcome back, Kieran.
I've been away for a couple of weeks due to work. But I am back. The dream team is back. But I've said it once before. I'll say it again. A massive, massive thanks to Gareth and Ollie for jumping in over the last 2 weeks and helping us out here in SFR. It is greatly, greatly appreciated from myself. Along with, of course, Will and Jamie. It is greatly, greatly appreciated.
And me, my friend, as you're well aware, comment on your own is not as easy. It's a lot harder work, and to work with such great commentators in Ollie and Gareth was a real privilege as well. So.
Indeed, obviously it was Ollie. So Tubemaster jumped in for France, and then we had Warder himself jump in last week for the Chinese Grand Prix. But, well, we're here in Austria, Swiss, a track that,
I wish we wasn't, but you know, I'm not driving it, so I can't really complain.
a track that, well, as we've seen in qualifying, brings some relatively fast lap times.
Yeah, well, he does need to make the hay while the sun shines on those softs. You know, get a good speed going. Try if you can, like you say, get as far up, if not to the front. Build a little bit of a gap because the other car's going to be a little bit slower than you to start off with. You should have a little bit more grip, but it's going to be roles reversed towards the end. So
Is indeed.
is that up to fourth now for Dom? It is.
Potentially, yeah.
If that is right, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
P4.
Is-
What's that? I'm not sure. I think there are cars
Then
ahead.
it could be Antov. I don't know. The timing screens are all over the place at the moment.
Stennis definitely leading.
Kirby in the pits.
Antib in P4, Dom stays in P6. Kirby is in the pit. In the front wing into Kirby's car there.
He's having a look up the inside of Rapid. Oh, it's very close to contact. There is contact. It's still side by side.
Rapid onto the grass though. Dom gets around him. That is Dom up into P5 and now the work starts for Dom the Noodle. The catch back up to his teammate, Antib Beacon, and let's try and get ahead of him. We are about to
There's a
hit
gap already between Antov, Beacon and Constant Running.
2.3 seconds already, the gap between the top two there. Stenner 105.5. We are now on lap 3. Vapid's gone! Vapid's out, Sways!
Oh my god, is that a safety car?
Virtual.
It's VSC. Whereabouts is it on track?
Final corner.
It's on the straight. That could be upgraded.
We've lost Vapid Coup.
That's incredible. You wouldn't have thought that so early in the race as well from such a...
I've got a funny feeling
You know,
that's exactly what Cal 17 F1 did. And he's lost
It does look almost in the
It
same
was
place.
in a very, very similar position. We're going to ride on board with Kirby because knowing Codemasters,
Still the VSC.
there's probably still remnants of Vapid's car all over the track. And I can't see anything from Vapid's car. But
That's probably why we're still on the VSC then. And not a full upgrade.
indeed. But we've had our first casualty. And it is Vapid Coot. Very, very surprising, I think is probably the word to use, Swayze. First casualty of this
Definitely.
Austrian Grand Prix. Vapid, as we know, normally very, very good when it comes to looking after his car, but I think potentially got a little bit too much of the curb coming out of turn 10 and has lost the back end and unfortunately ended up into the pit wall, and that has ended his
Of course,
race.
that does mean if everybody else makes it to the end, they'll get points.
They will. They will indeed.
DRS
We are
enabled.
back under racing conditions, green flag conditions here. Full round 6 of SFR Season 5. This is the Austrian Grand Prix. Kieran Wright 92 in the comms box, joined once again, as always, by the legend that is Mr. T.S. Swayze. And if you had Adam Lee in your sweepstakes for the first time penalty, congratulations, you are a winner. Adam Lee picks up the first time penalty of the Austrian Grand Prix. Dom the Noodle is falling away from his teammate.
Yeah, I think he gained a little bit of time under the actual VSC though, because he was just a little bit further back, and his Cam picked up a penalty as well in second place. He's got Constant Ryan breathing down his neck at the moment.
Indeed, you can see there Constant Ryan with Antib Beacon just behind him. The gap that Beacon had to Constant Ryan has very much been eradicated thanks to that
I
VSC.
wonder if something's happened to Dom. He's just dropped from like 1.2 to 1.7 almost instantly.
I'm wondering whether the tyre wear is starting to hit Dom very, very early. It is. Big shock. I don't think he'd be expecting the tyres to fall off as quickly as they are.
And so Beacon looking on this almost that Ryan on the switch back out of the corner. He got a lot better drive. He's still got better drive.
And he can get himself
This could
past
come into
season
the braking
full drivers
here.
champion. Under braking down the hill. He's got it. He's got the position. That's Beacon up into P3. And now the hunt for Cam.
That was all about Antov Beacon's exit on out of the top of the hill corner there. He got such a great drive.
Yeah, fantastic exit. We've got a yellow flag in set to 1. That's Kirby.
I think it's Kirby.
It is Kirby's round. He's lost his wing.
Is that in the pit exit?
I think it was just taking T1. Kirby has lost his wing, unfortunately. That's going to be another
Whoa.
pit stop. for
Papa Goose and Callum side by side.
Papa Goose Braver going into T9. Gets ahead of Cal. Cal's now going to come under pressure from Generation A as well. Fantastic exit by Generation A, and that's going to be a nice easy move there with the DRS assist for the Williams driver, and now the hunt for
And
Papa Goose.
Beacon's going for the move on Cam. He's going to go. Cam's going to make him go around the outside.
Has he got it? He's got it. He's got it into T3. Beacon up into
Beacon,
P2.
the man on the move at the moment.
Man on a mission here. Christo gets himself past Kislesko. Potential switch back from Kislesko. Better traction by Kislesko out of turn 3. And that is Kislesko with the DRS assist as well. Back into P9. Generation A does make that move on Papa Goose now. That's Generation A up into P11, looking to try and push for that top 10 position in the Williams. His teammate, Constant Ryan, currently up in P4. Kirby in the pits again for another wing change, unfortunately. Not the best start to Kirby's race.
I'm going to keep my eye on that gap between Ante Beacon and Stenner. Now he has some clean air, he needs to eat into it. Like I said earlier, he has been quite unlucky with a few, I was about to say, he has been quite unlucky with a few penalties that's cost him wins, and just as I was saying that, he picks one up. I'm going to have to stop cursing people.
He has indeed. Leclerc making a move around Noodle. That's Leclerc up into P5.
So, yeah, as the cup goes soft, you think? You don't know, he's dropping back.
That's what I mean. Cam.
Oh, that's Cam, is back.
Ooh,
That's
what a move.
Beacon.
Caught the back end of that move there. Adam Lee gets himself past Alpaca Carbon as well. Side by side coming down the hill. Better traction from Adam Lee.
So we've got a Ferrari with that Stenner.
Oh, we got it!
He is.
It's Stenner! I think he's gone onto the curb a little bit too much. He's lost some positions here. Cam inherits the lead.
Still have both. He does, but he also picks up a penalty at the same time.
Does indeed. Cam leads from
It looks
Beacon,
like
from Constant Ryan.
Stenner has. Now, I know speaking to Leclerc previously.
No damage on Stenner, Scott. I think it was just a spin.
Yes, but this is what I was just about to say. We were unable to see this before. Yeah, we can see that both end plates are intact, but one thing we can't tell is if they pick up floor damage.
Very, very true. Could potentially be under floor damage. Stenner on the inside. Adam Lee. No, Adam Lee gets the
He's
better
not
traction.
giving it up, hasn't he?
Really good. Fantastic drive here by Adam Lee. Generation A gets himself past Christo for P9.
I'm gonna go around the outside.
Ryan for
Oh, this-
P2.
Oh no! Whoa! That Michael Coleman's just massive crash. That is a safe. That has to be. Yes, it is. It's a safety car. Safety car.
Of course, safety
I just saw that in the background while watching Adam Lee and Stenner. Massive impact.
Obviously, Sways will be able to
That
tell us a
will
bit more
slow
about
things
what
down.
happened there. So what was it? Just coming out of turn 4, he just lost it on the curb? Or?
Yeah, as you call it, Albin's corner. I was just watching Stenner and Adam Lee because they were side by side, and in the background, just on the exit of the corner, I saw the Aston Martin flick the curb, spun round and shot straight into the Armco barrier, full on high speed. Big impact for Alpaca Carbon.
The only cars to not go into the pits are the top 2 now. Sam and Adam Lee, along with TS Sam. Everyone else has come into the pits.
Well, it was a hard one there, with obviously Dom being on soft needed to pit, so it's good that Ante Beacon stayed out, I
No,
believe.
Beacon didn't.
Oh, so they double stack.
That's
That's gonna, yeah, that would have cost
Dom's down in P8 as it
Dom
stands.
a little tiny bit.
Down in P8 as it stands, 2.93 seconds now. The gap between
Stenner though onto the soft. Does that mean he's gonna have to pit again?
I would assume so. There's no way you can run soft 20 odd laps. I mean, we saw
Definitely
Dom's
not
tyres dying after about 9.
Yeah, because Dom was anything to go by.
Carbon in the chat. The way it just hit the back end was so not normal. Unlucky Carbon.
It did look very violent from what I saw, Carbon. I'm going to say it did look very violent. But I tell you what, Kislesko, Papa Goose, onto the hards.
Indeed.
Could be quite interesting if they can make it the rest of the way, no damage.
Indeed, there is Mr. Big Will in the building as well. Good evening, Mr. Will. And Norris is here. Hi, Matty. How are you doing, buddy? Yeah, did nothing different that corner. Oh well, it's not meant to be, says Carbon. Unlucky, my friend.
Unlucky, my friend.
Indeed.
That's a jinx.
Great minds think alike, says. Cal comes into the pits and puts the hards on.
Yeah, well, I mean, we already have his teammate on the hard, so definitely, I feel they could do 26 laps on the hard, surely. They're definitely to the end, provided that you don't pick up any damage.
So long as you don't get damage to your car, those bottom three will definitely be going till the end.
So when we get underway, obviously Stenner's going to be one to watch on those soft tyres, as he is going to be trying to get straight back up to the top of the pack. But Generation 8, fresh mediums, we know he's got pace, we know he's had some great results so far and he's got some great driving ability in him. So he is also a driver that could be one to watch working his way through that field.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely worth keeping an eye on the guy. Currently in P10, the second of the two Williams drivers. Obviously, the new driver.
Now, let me ask you this, Kieran.
Yeah, go on, Swiss.
If we don't get another safety car, how much of an impact do you think it's going to be for the three drivers who didn't hit under it?
I don't think it'll affect him, because as we heard from Sam when he was in the party with us, he said that the main strategies here are going to be soft medium or a medium soft. I don't actually think it's going to affect them that much, because obviously these guys will be moving themselves onto the soft tyre, so the fastest possible tyre, to have a lap around this track. So I genuinely don't think it's actually going to affect them as much as we
suspect the safety car should come in this lap.
Should do. Cal's just picking up the back of the field now. There we go. Cal is now on the back of the pack, so we should hopefully be going racing once again here at the Red Bull Ring in Austria. This, of course, is round 6.
That's early. That's before the blooming sector line.
Very, very early.
Normally it doesn't pop up so
very early.
Yeah.
But Mindlander in the Mercedes AMG safety car. This is, of course, round 6 of season 5 of Supreme Formula Racing. It is your boys Kieran Wright 92 and TES Swayze in the comms box as WRS Count paces the field at the end of lap 11. We're about to go green here in Austria once again as we start lap 12.
As you can see on that track map now, that safety car is already in the pits. That's how much Cam's let that safety car get away to get a nice, clean restart.
Is he going to Bottas this? Try and leave it as late as he can.
He's gone, surely. He's gone.
Ooh, Cam! Ooh, Cam!
He almost went!
Ooh, Cam! He's going to come under a lot of pressure now from Adam Lee. Cam almost puts it in a wall on restart.
I bet some shit came out of his arse.
It was definitely a brown trousers moment here. Here comes Stenner, side by side with Leclerc up the hill. Soft tyres for Stenner, mediums for Leclerc. Leclerc's going to hold the inside line. Leclerc holds on to that position. They're side by side. They're touching wheels.
And the Dom the
Tom
Noodle
the
got
Noodle
both because of them.
takes advantage of it and
that
jumps on both. Now it's Dom Noodle up into P5, trying to hunt down his teammate Generation A. Gets another couple of positions very, very quickly. That
it might not be in a minute.
P8. Here comes Stenner.
Look at the cornering speed of them soft.
So
He's having to get out of it.
so close to Dom. Surely it's going to be a matter of time before Stenner makes a move on that Haas driver.
Well, maybe before DRS.
That's true. Here comes Stenner, pulls
It'll be about now then. Oh,
switch back! Switch back by Stenner. Dom's going to have the inside line though for turn 1. Stenner's going to have to do it round the outside. Dom's gone round! Dom's round! Dom the Noodle is round. Contact between himself and Stenner. That's spun Dom. Dom is down into P13
Well, that was
now.
on board with Stenner. I didn't see any contact from my point of
Oh,
view.
okay. Maybe it wasn't then. Maybe Dom overcorrected.
I mean, Senna stayed wide on exit. He ran the curve all the way up, gave Dom all the room he needed.
Maybe it was just Dom spinning then. Apologies for that, but it is Dom the Noodle down into P13 now. A lot of work for that Haas driver to do now. And get himself back up by comparison. Stella P4.
Oh, Beacon's
there goes
gone,
Beacon.
Beacon's gone on the curb.
There goes Beacon. He's falling down the pack as well.
They're looking absolutely brutal.
Disaster for both of the Haas drivers in a matter of corners. They've gone from being up at the head of the pack to being right down at the back.
Remember I said Generation A will be on he's in fourth, me.
Dom the Noodle waiting very, very slowly there. I think Dom's had a little spin there around turn 7.
And Adam Lee into the pits, but I think that is a scheduled pit stop. Because he did stay out. He's one of the drivers that did.
Under pressure from Stenner. I think there was a little bit of contact there. Cam did it.
Generation A and Leclerc.
Cam had his
Side by
hand
side,
up.
Leclerc's going to get the move done. Yes, he is.
Stenner's going 3 wide. Stenner around the outside of Constant Ryan for the lead. Constant Ryan just gets a better traction on exit though, but this is going to be the steel bus side by side. Stenner does now get ahead of Constant Ryan, and that is SSR Stenner back into the lead of the Austrian Grand Prix on those soft tyres.
Brave move there by Stenner, because as we've seen, that inside curve will flip your car straight up.
Will indeed. As we said, Stenner back into the lead now. But
In the meantime, while all that was going on, Leclerc did get himself past Generation A, but what's happened to Generation A? He's dropped all the way back.
I think he's had a little spin there. I'm not gonna lie.
I must have missed that.
Now
Look at that, Papa Goose and Telesco on the hard. Currently sat in 6th and 7th.
Big Will in chat. Okay, I'm gonna say it. What a fucking race indeed, Mr. Will. What a race indeed.
Active Beacon onto the hards after that pit stop.
Adam Lee and Dom the Noodle though moving on to the softs. Both have boxed.
Yep, that does look that way.
Dom on softs now, along with Adam Lee.
What, 15, that's what, 15, 20, 21 laps?
Yeah.
That's a long way to take the
I don't
soft.
think you can. I'll be honest, I don't think you can take him that long. Stenner picks up a 3
Stenner picks up a time penalty.
Let's keep an eye on Cam though.
Now,
Surely.
Cam and Sambo now are the last two with 14 laps on those tyres.
Cam stays out. Sambo as he takes turn 8. Well up to turn 9, Sambo.
Constant Ryan,
Also going to stay out.
Leclerc, looking very strong, because I suspect Stenner will have to pit again.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I don't think.
And I'll tell you what, if those mediums don't make it all the way, Papa Goose and Kozlesko are looking in a great position.
Definitely. I mean, it goes back to what we were saying during the safety car on that restart, providing Papa Goose, Kozlesko and Cal can keep their noses clean and not get damaged. They could have a very, very good end to this race here in Austria.
Dom the Noodle picks himself up a 3-second penalty there.
Indeed, Leclerc, you can see him within touching distance of Constant Ryan and in turn Stenner.
Gaps now starting to open up all across the midfield. Just a few kids. Let's go there. Has got himself. He's still right there in the DRS of Papa Goose.
Indeed, Leclerc does currently have.
Leclerc, is he actually close? I think he's closing in on Ryan.
He's definitely closing in on Constant Ryan. Less than half a second between the two cars now.
So it would be hard for Cam to catch those cars in front with one with how old his tyres are, and two without that DRS train as well.
Yeah, without that DRS assistance, it's going to be
Goose
very
picks up a
hard.
penalty.
Very hard for him to stay in touch. As Lesko's, you can see the overspeed as that Alpine closes the gap on that Mercedes. He's going to try and go around the outside of Papa Goose. Oh, Goose is round!
Oh, whoa! Papa Goose is going!
Ooh!
Did he go flicking back the other way? Yes,
He did flip, yeah, he got flipped back the other way, so it's not too bad for Goose. Does drop down to P9 though, Generation A. Inherits P8. And Cal inherits P7.
Going on there. It seems like everybody seems to be struggling with this track at the moment.
Oh, indeed. Stenner leads come towards the end of lap 17. We're coming towards the halfway point of this Grand Prix now here in Austria. And just see how close Leclerc is to Constant Ryan. Saying that though, Constant Ryan is starting to pull away ever so slightly from Leclerc. And
Generation
in turn,
A
gaining on
is
Stenner.
all over Cal.
He is indeed. Jump into it. Generation A is going to have the inside line. Gets the position on Cal. That's Generation A up into P7. We've got the wonderful Mama McKinnon in the house. How are we doing so? Well, Cal come back at Generation A, Shiloh.
Leclerc is now down to 2.
Oh, what a fantastic exit from Generation A. Out of turn 3 there at the top of the hill with the DRS assistance as well. That is an easy move there for Generation A back into P7. We'll definitely have to keep an eye on this battle as I think Goose has gone round again, you know, Swace.
Yeah, I did just see him drop down a couple of places. Still dropping.
He's still falling down the wayside, side by side with Adam Lee. What on earth is going on here? They're trying to pretty much pushing each other.
Top 3 are exactly the same gap apart.
Goose has lost his wing. We saw that on
This is
stream.
insane
His
racing
wing
between the
just
top 3 at the
explodes.
moment.
Cam's in the pits. Cam's in the pits.
Never mind
On the
that,
hard.
I'm looking at Leclerc. Look at Leclerc. He's going up the inside.
Oh, has he got him? He's got him. He's got Constant Ryan. Up turn 3.
These 3 top drivers, the gap between them at the moment, the racing between them is insatiable.
Is indeed. But it is why Supreme Formula Racing is as good as it is. Season 5, round 6. You can see just how close these guys are battling with one another.
Look how fast Generation A is closing in on Keselowski.
It's insane.
I don't know if that's because the hard tyres are actually that slow or what the deal is there, but he is really on the move.
He is on the move, but he has
He does pick up a
time
penalty though.
It is less than ideal. 13 wonderful members of the SFR family watching this stream, watching the race, watching the battles go on. You know what, I'm just gonna mention someone that's not been mentioned, or we'll mention him in just a second, and just see if Generation A can make that move on Keselowski. I think Beacon makes the move.
Is it
on
the driver
Adam
that's
Lee.
starting fourth by the way?
It is the driver that's standing fourth. He's kept himself quiet. He's not got himself into any issues, and SC Cristo at the moment for the AlphaTauri team is on for a very, very good points finish. Generation A, if he's going to go
Yes,
round
that was in
Keselowski,
11th place.
he's going to have to try and see if he can get around him. He can't get around him though.
Fucking no, there's a bit of lag.
Was a little bit of lag.
Got him now.
He has got him now. The Generation A gets himself round Keselowski.
Beacon picks up a penalty.
Indeed, Sambo into the pits now as well from P12.
I think Stenner's softs are starting to go.
What tyres is Sambo going on to? Sambo goes on to softs. Sambo thinks that he can get himself 16 laps on those soft tyres. New front wing as well for TAS Sambo. Stenner still leads lap 21 of 36 here in Austria. Half a second is the gap between himself and Leclerc.
Generation A is on Cristo
Yes, indeed.
already. He's really moving his Generation A. He's been up and down the field quite a fair bit tonight, but never ever lost the determination after the mistakes.
He goes up the inside
Showing
of
that
Cristo.
will to fight back.
And that's Generation A up into P4. Don Menudo in the pits now as well. Happening with Don Menudo. We've potentially got damage. Quick look on Noodle's car as he does come into the pits. Is it a new front wing? It's not a new front wing, it's just a set of mediums. Going on to Dom's car. Keselowski's gone! Keselowski's out!
Papa Goose is in the gravel as well.
Safety car!
Safety car, we have a safety car.
We've got another safety car here in Austria.
That is going to be a lifesaver for Stenner.
Trying to see what's happened to Keselowski. Oh, he looks like he's
Surely
bounced
at
off
this
a wall.
point, Generation A won prime position to box early there.
Generation A does come
For
in.
his
Cristo
teammate.
comes in. Cal comes in to the pits.
What do you
Cam
think?
does as well.
Surely soft to the end.
Gonna be soft.
Sure. No. Why is Generation A putting on hard?
Ooh, that's an interesting decision by Generation A. Christo has put softs on.
Maybe
Cal has put
he's
mediums
done
on.
all of his softs already in the qualifying.
Potentially. Christo puts the soft tyres on. Cal puts the mediums on.
I suspect the top three will all pit. I know Senna will. He has to get off of those soft
Stenna's
tyres.
got to get himself off those softs. I'm wondering whether there potentially, Sways, could be some sort of
the medium runners.
correlation between Papa Goose being in the gravel and Kislesko retiring.
Maybe. I mean, you said that. I mean, as I was looking at one, you were looking at the other. I didn't quite see where Kislesko binned it, but I do know Papa Goose was in the gravel just after. I think it's the left-hander as you go after Albon Corner, as you were putting it.
Okay, so that is just before where Kislesko ended up.
Stenner now onto the. Stenner's going to be under serious pressure from Leclerc and from Ryan now. We've got softs to the end here.
Indeed, Stenner's on the medium tyre. Picks up the safety car now.
I tell you who else is going to be under pressure. Generation A.
Ooh.
He's going to have a hard time keeping Christo behind with them
He
softs.
is, but you know,
Two compound difference.
you know what, Slice? Have a look at who is just behind Stenner on track, not on timing screen.
Oh, Sambo, yeah.
Sambo.
But
He wasn't able to get himself ahead of Stenner, which means he is in ahead of Leclerc and Constant Ryan. Stenner could potentially use this to his advantage.
he could, however, being a lap car, TS Leclerc could just drive right through him.
He could.
I mean, it's annoying, but it's purely possible.
Saying that, Papa Goose
He's in trouble anyway at the moment. One, he's on the mediums compared to the two behind him on softs, and two, the two behind him do not have time penalties.
They do not. Have a look at the time penalties. You can see here, had a big number of penalties for Adam Lee. Generation A has.
What? Binned it? What's going on?
I'm not quite sure, but I just.
How do you drop it?
Ooh, Generation A 5-second penalty collision with Cam. I did see end plate fly.
He's in the pits.
I saw some end plate fly in the background of the screen.
How did he collide with Cam? I didn't even get that far back to collide with Cam.
I'm not quite sure. Only thing I can potentially assume would be that Generation A was following
Going
the
onto
right
the softs.
line to go into the pits, and someone just wasn't paying attention. But I don't know. Obviously, I don't want to say too much because, of course,
Yeah,
we
but
don't know.
he was in front of Christo.
Very, very interesting. Then I'm not quite sure what's happened there. But Generation A comes back out in P9, just ahead, of Anted Beacon. But the penalty situation as it stands: Stenner with 3 seconds, Christo with 3 seconds in P4.
Sambo cannot unlap himself, can he?
Cannot, no. Cam with 9, Adam Lee 12, Don the Noodle 6, Generation A 8, Beacon with 6, and Papa Goose with 6 as well. As we move.
Well, the race it's been very all over the place.
It has been it's been an entertaining one for the neutral, put it that way. I'm sure Mr. Big Will is sitting in chat very, very happy that he hasn't got to worry too much about racing around this track. We are on lap 25 now of 36 here in Austria. 11 laps to go after this race. So after this lap, even.
All the cars are bunched up. The safety car should pit this lap.
Indeed. We shall see whether that safety car does indeed come in at the end of this lap. It should do. We've got, as Swayze said, we've got everyone back. So should.
What's interesting is when you're riding on board with Leclerc, Sambo isn't ghosted.
No, he's not.
And it does.
That could potentially also be because
We're under the
Leclerc's-
safety car, yeah.
One, we're on the safety car, and two, Leclerc's not. There it is. There is the confirmation. We're going to quickly go from the Stenner. Yeah, he's not ghosted for Stenner either. In the rear view.
He should be for Leclerc though, at the end of the start when the safety car goes back in. Because he is out of position.
We shall see. We're about to go racing though. 11 laps left of this Austrian Grand Prix. Stenner letting the safety car go. When does Stenner go? Sambo!
Was that contact?
I think Sam just hit Stenner.
Did the Ferraris just hit
He
each
did.
other? What in the hell?
He did. Sambo just made contact with Stenner. Sambo dives into the pits. Gonna look to try and clear that penalty. Oh, penalties all over the place here.
Ryan, that's cost Ryan. He's going to lose 2 places. He's got Cal and Cam down his inside. Oh, 3, 4 places.
Constant
even.
Ryan's lost a lot of positions there. Is that damage potentially?
There will be words about that restart, I suspect.
I'm thinking that obviously we can't speculate too much.
Whoa! Adam Lee with a...
Where is Adam Lee? There he is. It was very,
I'll
very
clip
deep
that.
into turn 3. But Stenner still leads. Lap 26 of 36 here in Austria. Leclerc 1.4 seconds behind him. With Christo a further 4 seconds back. We've got yellow flags in sectors 2 and 3. That's
How
Goose.
did they end up with such a big
Is that Goose? No,
gap
is it Goose?
between them? Can I just say right now, Christo is on the podium.
He is. He is indeed. He's going to have a look at the penalty situation. No. Yes. No. Yeah, he will. Yeah, as it stands, Christo would genuinely hold on to. No, he wouldn't. He would not. Woo, Papa Goose!
Didn't have a pen.
Has gone round.
Constant Ryan must have took a lot of damage because he had to pit. And,
the new front wing going onto that car. What have you missed, Vapid? A lot of madness, my friend. It's probably the easiest way of describing it. Stenner still leads though. 1.7 seconds is the gap between himself and Leclerc. 4.7 back is Christo with Cam breathing down his neck. Adam Lee has retired in the pits.
of course, Cam is the faster driver, but Christo is on the faster tyre.
He is indeed Generation A. The man you have mentioned quite a bit this race, Mr. Sways. The man on a
Simply for
mission.
the fact of his drive today shows that when things go wrong, if you just keep plucking away and just don't give up, anything can happen. And you know what I mean? And he's right here on Cam's on the medium. I'm not sure he's going to be able to hold him off.
I don't think he will. If he's gonna make the move, he's gonna have to do it around the outside though, and he's also got Christo for company as well. Gets the better traction out of the corner from Cam and gets the DRS as well. Cam was ever so
Christo's
slightly
got
ahead.
no DRS to defend with. Absolutely insane restart.
Is indeed Papa Goose back up into P11
I think
now.
Cam lost the place. Yeah, Generation A got him, didn't he?
Yep. Generation
Whoa,
back up
whoa,
into P4.
whoa! Generation A's gonna got the inside of Christo.
He's got him.
What
He's
this?
got him as well. What a move.
Unbelievable. I can't believe he did that there.
What a move from Generation A. Up into P3 now. 6.5 seconds of gap between himself and TES Leclerc. So a bit of work for him to do. Beacon now all over the back of Cam. Cam has a little wobble as he comes out of the corner. Beacon gets a much better traction out of the corner on those slightly more worn tyres. In fact, they're very much worn tyres. 12 lap old mediums for Beacon, 6 lap old mediums for Cam. But I think the little wave, or the little slide there by Cam around the final corner proved to be his undoing. But here comes Cam. He's going to come back at Antiv Beacon now. with the DRS. Stenner's gone! Stenner's out!
Oh my God,
Stenner's out! SSR Stenner is out of the Austrian Grand Prix.
What the hell is
Oh
going on in
my
this
God,
race?
virtual.
VSC.
Virtual safety car.
I think it might be too late to upgrade. I don't think we'll see another safety car this late into the race. Surely not.
You can. I think it'd only be for 2 or 3 laps, but you can still have a safety car.
Generation 8 is now sat in second position, and Christo's still on the podium in third.
Cam comes into the pit.
Insane.
Cam boxes from 5th. We'll have a quick look at the penalties situation.
Do not pick up a drive-through penalty now. Whatever you do,
Indeed.
it will fuck your race up.
Yeah, there we go. Will has confirmed it up until lap 34. When you are able to get, well, it'll be 32, I think, will be the last time you can get one, or 33.
I tell you what.
Sambo!
What did I just
And
say?
Goose!
What did I just say?
And Goose! Both of them, TS Samo and Papa Goose, with drive-through penalties. But you know what, Slave? As it stands, Generation 8 and Christo are fighting for second.
But Anta Beacon is right there.
He
on
is
Christo.
right on Christo, but he has an additional second's worth of penalty. Here comes Christo, looking to, Beacon, hunting down Christo. Can he make the move? DRS is of course enabled straight away after a VSC. Can we rerun the race? No, we cannot, Rapid. It would be too much for my throat to be able to handle. But again, as we have mentioned a couple of times, guys, during this race, make sure you hang around after the race. There are a couple of big announcements.
Generation 8, Anta Beacon is going up the inside of Christo.
Has he got it?
But still side.
Christo with a better traction.
Better drive out of the corner because he's got soft. Yeah, he's got the better drive out of the corner.
You also have to remember those space that those mediums for Anta Beacon are 14 laps old. 14 lap old mediums for Anta Beacon, 8 lap old softs for Christo, as Sambo and Goose both come in to serve their drive-through penalties. Leclerc leads.
Tell you what, I wouldn't normally root for a driver. Oh no, he's going to go right there. What a move! Did he get it done?
They're still side by side going into the double right-hander. Christo has the inside line. Beacon's going to have to be braver here, and he is. Beacon gets ahead of Christo. But Christo will, of course, have DRS on Anta Beacon, so we'll look to try and close that gap back up once again. Lap 32 of 36 here in Austria. 5 laps to go. What a move, says Big Will. We tend to agree with you there, Will. What a move. Christo's going to look to try and come back at Beacon here. He knows all he has to do.
He's going to have the DRS.
All Christo knows he has to do is stay within a second of Anta Beacon and not get another
Well,
penalty.
that depends. No. You're right, and you also could be wrong. It depends with those two looking at the penalty situation as to who hit who under a safety car.
Very true.
If Christo was hit, he'll get it removed. If he hit somebody, he won't.
Indeed, but you know what? Saying this way, so just looked at some of the time gaps. I don't actually think.
Cal might not be out of
That's
this.
what I was about to say. Cal could genuinely be in a very good position.
Yellow. We've got a
It's Dom. It's Dom. It's Noodle. It's Noodle. He spun out of turn 6, 7, into turn 8.
We are down to just 10 runners. This race has been insane.
Has indeed. Action everywhere, and that is why SFR is the place to be on a Saturday night. 15 of you currently in the chat having a watch of this stream, of this race. I hope you guys are enjoying it just as much as myself and Swayze are. God, I've missed commentating SFR.
It's mental, especially tonight.
It is indeed. You can see the gaps though starting to form now between these drivers. Leclerc just doing
3 laps.
doing Leclerc things. I believe he's still got
Anta
fastest
Beacon's
lap.
going to be on 19 old lap tyres if he can take them all. I don't know how far mediums go.
That's a very, very good point. In fact, fastest lap of the Grand Prix actually went with Stenner. Obviously, Stenner has now unfortunately DNF. I don't think Stenner's done enough of the race yet to actually be classified.
Yeah, I think you might be right. Really wide there out in the corner, first corner for Enter Beacon. I think Cal is slowly catching Krista. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think he might be.
Look, 2.7.
I don't know if there's enough time though.
There's not, maybe not necessarily enough time. If we look at the gaps to leader, bearing in mind the fact that Generation 8 and Krista both have 8 seconds and Beacon has 9. Cal is net P2.
This is insane. If he doesn't pick up a penalty
Providing
himself,
Cal doesn't pick up a penalty himself. If my calculations are correct, Cal 17 F1 is net P2, Swayze.
I mean, if I had told you at the start of the race, Constant Ryan's going to finish 8th and Cam's going to finish 7th, you'd have told me to fuck off.
Probably.
Oh, there's another penalty
Generation
for
8.
Generation 8.
Oh my gosh. You can see the gap. Beacon has been able to put over Christo. 4 seconds is the gap. I think Christo's softs are falling off, Swayze. 2 laps to go.
I think you're right.
Here in Austria.
That gap is definitely coming down between him and Cal.
It is.
Gone down by 3/10 in the last lap.
It is indeed. 7.5 seconds the gap between the man currently on screen in T.S. Leclerc and the man behind him in second place, Generation A. To be fair, Leclerc's just done... He's not really been in the conversation much throughout this race. He's just done what he normally does, just concentrated on himself, not done anything stupid.
I mean,
he had a few little battles with Krista. Oh no! Had a few battles with Stenner, but Leclerc's just gone through the motions in normal Leclerc fashion.
And he's driven a clean race. Picked up no time penalties, kept his nose clean, and is now leading this Grand Prix on the final lap.
He is indeed lapping both Papa Goose and Sambo, so their races will end at the end of this lap after 35 laps for themselves. But you know, I'm still going to say it, Swayze. I don't think... Oh, actually, we'll have a quick look at the gaps now. 11 seconds there. What's the gap? 7. 10.
He might still get third.
Ooh, there goes Papa Goose is round, but we're going to jump back up.
Oh, who's that? Is that Cam? Yellow flag. No, Papa Goose.
Leclerc has done Leclerc things. He's kept his nose clean. And T.S. Leclerc crosses the line to win the Austrian Grand Prix. And now we just wait to see.
The final finishing order.
Generation A crosses the line in P2. Holds onto it. Beacon P3 as it stands. Christo crosses the line now. And Cal 17 F1 up into third. Cal 17 F1 picks up the podium here in Austria. Beacon drops down to 4th. Christo in 5th. Fantastic finish for the AlphaTauri driver there. Dom in 6th. Cam 7th. Destroying his car as he crosses the line. Constant Ryan's going to pick up 8th with Sambo in 9th and Papa Goose in 10th. There we go. What a race, Swayze.
I mean, that's one way of putting it.
What a race.
That was...
Yeah, I agree.
What? I might actually have to go with that.
I agree. Cal 17 F1 gets
Don't get me wrong, Leclerc put in an amazing race, kept his nose clean and everything, but how often have we seen Cal on the podium in SFR?
I genuinely think that's his first podium in SFR. I don't think Cal has actually had a podium prior to tonight. So,
I mean, if it wasn't him, it could have possibly been Christo for me, but kept his nose clean, snuck that podium at the end. I'm sorely tempted to agree with Codemasters there.
Yeah, I mean, starting P12 gets himself up to P3. But here are your final finishing positions, ladies and gents. T.S. Leclerc, picks up the race win. Generation A in second. Cal third. Antiv Beacon in fourth. Christo fifth. Fantastic performance by Christo there. Dominoodle sixth. Cam in seventh. Constant Ryan eighth. Sambo in ninth. And Papa Goose in 10th. Round off your finishers with Stenna, Adam Lee, Kids Lesko, Alpaca Carbon, TM Kirby, and Vapid Coot, all unfortunately unable to finish the race this evening. We are being joined by our podium placers now. And you know what? Similar to what Mr. Warder did last week, I'm going to allow Mr. Swayze to do the entirety of the podium interview, because
I was going to say, why don't you do it? Because you're back.
No.
You know, you missed it. You know.
I might get involved, but I think for the most part, I'm gonna let you do it. So you did such a good job last week. So and I'm sure you've got some very, very good questions that you want to ask our podium. We have been joined by our podium. The audio is automatically included, guys, so don't worry about trying to include it in any way, shape.
We do have all three, yes?
We do indeed. We do indeed have all three. So we are going to jump to the first of our podium places. And I will hand over to Mr. T.S. Swayze for third place. Cal 17 F1.
Awesome. Yep. So finishing in third tonight for the Alpine team, Cal F1. I believe it is his first SFR podium, keeping his nose clean, sneaking it in there at the end by being penalty free. Welcome to the SFR podium, Cal. How are you feeling? Is he there? That is the question.
Cal, mate, that's your cue to speak.
He's nervous. I know.
Still spraying the champagne.
Yeah.
He could be still spraying the champagne. Of course, it's a big moment when it's your first podium in a league. Shall we come back and see if we can get him in at the end?
I think Cal may be having a few technical issues at the moment, guys, with his mic. So we'll drop down to second place. We'll drop to Generation A and give Cal a chance to sort out his mic. And hopefully we'll have a chat with Cal once he's been able to get his microphone sorted. So Twice, back to you.
Well, in that case, on to second place, Generation A. Up and down the grid again, but back on the podium for a second week in a row after giving me a heart attack, but showing that pure determination gets results. Talk us through it, my man.
Well, I've never been so happy, angry, stressed out, and just surprised in my life. Because I know I am going through like some lag issues this race. Had fingers to turn to. Big lag spike took me all the way back down to last place. Then I just had to fought my way through the field again. Got up to, I believe, 5th. And then I got another lag spike. Took me all the way back down to 8th. Once again, had to fight my way through the field. And then the other safety car came out. I was up to a net P4 behind my teammate, and then I just had another lag spike. Took me back down the field, and from then on out, I just pushed, and I've never been so determined to get a podium in my life.
You could see the determination throughout that race. It was mentioned, and I've got to say, it is a testament to those who, that when something does go wrong, just pull into their pits and quit, and it does show you that anything can and does happen, and if you stick with it, results can still come.
Yeah.
So, massive congratulations, especially since the second week in a row you're in the podium now.
Yep. Last to P2 2 times in a row. I feel like I should just make this a habit and do it next week as well.
Well, you're always welcome on the podium and into the commentary box with us here in SFR. We do like to see new people occasionally make it up, but if it's the same people because they deserve to be here, then we're happy with that as well. So a massive congratulations on another podium position.
Thank you very much.
So move on to our race winner who kept his nose clean, picked up absolutely no penalties today. Superb drive from our race winner, T.S. Leclerc. Talk us through from your point of view how that race unfolded for you.
I don't really know, to be honest. Just, I know what penalties are like around Austria, so I was struggling in qualifying with invalidations on the tiny straight between the last two corners, and just thought, right, I'll sort that out for the race, and hopefully it all comes together, and it did. So managed to pick up no penalties, which was good, and pretty happy with some of the moves I done on a couple of drivers as well.
We had a few of those moves on screen, that is for sure. Were you close at all to picking up a penalty? Many warnings throughout the race, or was it completely and utterly clean?
No warnings.
Wow, that's amazing driving. Especially, we've seen how many penalties were thrown out today, so amazing clean driving. Keeping your nose clean can always win you a race, and that is a prime example of how. So a massive congratulations to T.S. Leclerc. Is it your second or third race win this season?
Second?
Second? Yeah.
I want to say second, yeah.
I know you won Singapore.
Did I win Singapore?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. But, yeah, it's my own league and I can't even remember anything. It's class.
Well,
but yeah, hopefully many more to come.
Definitely. An unfortunate snap of oversteer for your teammate tonight, but good points for Aston Martin nevertheless.
Yeah, he was having a good race himself as well, so we were both on the similar strategy and similar lines, and I'm pretty sure we had a very similar setup as well.
It was very, very close between you in qualifying, I must say that. I think it was 0.10 between you in qualifying.
Yeah, I just can't get over how mad Q3 was. Like, it was 8 tenths separating the top 10, so it was relatively close, and that's what we love to see.
Well, indeed. Before we get on to your huge announcement, we will cut back to see if we can pick up a few words with our P3 finisher. Cal, are you there?
Hello, can you hear me?
I can. Welcome to the SFR podium, Cal.
Thank you very much. Still kind of in shock. Wasn't really expecting to be speaking to you guys at all this season. Still kind of shaking at the moment, if I'm honest. I could see towards the end, I could see the gap to Antebeacon the whole time, and I could see it going up, and I think it was about 0.2 of a second at the very end, so it was just kind of pure shock when I got over the line and I was P3.
Well, it's a testament, like you say, if you keep your nose clean, you can pick up positions, and that is proof of that right there. But of course, your first league podium in SFR is always a big moment for any driver. I mean, you say you are shaking and you was not expecting to be here, but you are here. You picked up points for the team.
Yeah, definitely. I've not had a very good start to the season so far, but this is definitely boosted my confidence for the future.
Definitely. Well, I mean, not only that, but once you hit that podium, it proves that you can do it, and you get that determination to do it again. And I hope that does stick with you, and that you are able to replicate this result at least another point throughout this season, should I say?
Yeah, thank you very much.
You are very welcome. Congratulations on your third position, and congratulations from me and Kieran and Codemasters for picking up Driver of the Day.
Indeed. Thank you, Swayze. So, massive congratulations to our podium here in Austria. And as mentioned, we have got Jamie in the party. We've got a couple of announcements. I'm going to start off with one of them. But before I get into it, I want to give a massive thank you to everyone associated with SFR, to Jamie, to Will, to all of the drivers, to Swayze, for all of the support and everything that you've given me throughout my short time here in SFR. But I do unfortunately have a little bit of upsetting news, and that's that tonight is my last race in SFR as the league's head admin. Yeah, but it's been an honor, it's been a privilege, it's been a pleasure working with everyone. But yeah, I'm gonna obviously hand over to Jamie for the second announcement. I'll put it up on screen as it goes through, but I believe Mr. Leclerc, we have, well, you, I should say, have acquired a junior category.
We have, but before we get into that, yeah, I just want to say it's been an absolute pleasure having you as head admin. I'm sure we will back up the words we're saying right now. A lot of the work that has been done in SFR has been a combination of myself, Will, and of course yourself, Kieran. I just want to say a massive thank you for being head admin. It's going to be sad to see you go as head admin, but you are now an owner.
I am indeed an owner of SFR. I'm not going anywhere, guys. Don't worry. Don't panic. I'm still involved in SFR. But yeah, late last night, as in the and into the early hours of this morning, Will and Jamie offered me a role as part of the ownership team here in SFR. So there are now 3 owners of SFR. There is obviously Jamie, there is Will, and now there is myself as well. Yeah, sorry, we felt we had to do it this way, just to make it a little bit fun.
The decision to do it this way was made at about 4 a.m.
It was. It was.
It was.
Most of your decisions are made at 4 a.m. What you want about?
True.
It was indeed. But yes, so as we said,
on that note,
we have.
Can I just say? I'll say on that note, there is nobody, and I mean nobody out there who deserves it more. Honestly, the people who don't know the amount of work that Kieran does in the background is absolutely phenomenal, and in his short time here, he has put in more effort than most people would do in 2 seasons, honestly.
I was going to say careful.
There is nobody. Honestly, it is truly and utterly deserved. So a massive congratulations, Kieran.
Thank you, Swift. I appreciate it. But yeah, so now on to the second announcement, and that is the announcement that, yes, we have acquired a second tier here in SFR. We have acquired the acquisition of a junior league here in SFR. So this is a press release that was released in the other Discord, for the Discord for the league that SFR are taking over. I will read through it fully with you all now, so you can get an idea of what is happening. Supreme Formula Racing are proud to announce the acquisition of a junior category in F1 esports, effective immediately. F1RL is a new league previously owned by SFR head admin Kieran Wright 92, but following discussions with SFR owners TS Leclerc and TES Big Will, an offer was given to Kieran which allows F1RL to obtain additional support from both a stewarding and racing point of view. This agreement does have one condition, which is that F1RL hands total control to SFR and will be renamed as SFR Tier 2. SFR Tier 2 will continue to run on a Monday night at 8 PM and will continue to run with the current calendar that was previously set by myself. Once driver numbers improve, SFR Tier 2 will move across to full qualifying. At the moment, we have, I believe it's 16 drivers, potentially 17 drivers for Tier 2, including some of the guys that are already involved in what is now Tier 1. But we will move across to full qualifying to mirror up with what is happening in Tier 1. There will be the opportunity for Tier 2 drivers to move across to the main SFR Tier 1 league on a Saturday night and vice versa, but any decisions on driver movements will be made by the SFR admin team. You can see a quote from myself there. This is a fantastic opportunity for F1RL to be able to merge with a well-established F1 league who are already in their 5th season with a full driver grid and reserve drivers. I'm very much looking forward to working alongside Leclerc and Will going forward, and this secures the future of F1RL for many years to come. We did get a little word from Jamie as well. We here at SFR are extremely delighted with opening a second tier by joining forces with F1RL. This is a massive moment for all parties involved and will help benefit both leagues for many years to come. SFR has always been a single-tiered league, therefore opening up a second division is a massive step forward for us. With the acquisition of F1RL, I see no reason as to why we can't become bigger than we already are. Hashtag competition is key. The first race of SFR Tier 2 will be streamed live on Monday night. We need to work out who is going to be doing what in terms of commentary and things like that. But yeah, Jamie, Tier 2.
Yeah, it's a big step forward. We tried a second tier previously in SFR and it didn't go to plan at all. But with the acquisition of this second tier, we already have drivers coming in already that are already in a seat that have been racing throughout. Obviously, I was in the league racing. I'll still be racing until numbers improve, obviously. We have put it out on Grid Finder, so hopefully we get a few more drivers interested on the Monday night. However, with this acquisition, there's a catch, but it's a good catch. Everyone that raced tonight is Tier 1. We've all established that. But come the end of the season, the bottom 5 in the drivers' standings will be demoted to Tier 2, and the top 5 will be promoted to Tier 1. So we do now have a relegation and promotion system. Sorry to bring a football term into this, but Vapid is something we can look into. But yeah, I don't know what people's thoughts are on the relegation and promotion system, but I think it's... You're fighting for your survival, if you will, in Tier 1, which should, in theory, make it a hell of a lot more interesting. Because no one wants to be relegated. It's not a good feeling. Myself and Kieran speak from a lot of experience of that. But yeah, what are your thoughts on it, Kieran? As you are essentially running Tier 2, so...
Yes, I am. Obviously that was one of the things that sort of then led into the decision that Jamie and Will made last night. it was always going to be the plan that I was going to oversee Tier 2, but as I said in the press release, I think it is going to be a fantastic thing for the league, formerly known as F1RL, Formula 1 Racing League. SFR Tier 2, to give it its proper name now. We've got a really competitive grid down there. There'll be a few names that you do recognise from previous seasons of SFR. I mean, A. Jackson, 1903, obviously now racing down in Tier 2. Kixra is also racing down in Tier 2. Swayze himself races in Tier 2, obviously having to take a little bit of time off now due to an injury. But Papa Goose is down there. Matty7 Gamer is down there as well. So there's quite a few guys from Tier 1 that are already racing into Tier 2. So it's a very competitive grid. And yeah, I mean, I just sort of mirror what you say, Jay. It's a fantastic opportunity for the league. Will, yeah, of course, Mr. Will. Mr. Big Will is also down in Tier 2.
Big Will!
But yeah, no, it's massive for SFR as a league. Because obviously it now opens the door for us to be able to bring even more drivers into the league. Obviously, for those who may not know, at the start of Season 5, we had about 30 sign-ups for SFR. That included reserve slots and things like that. Obviously, we've had people that have dropped out, not turned up, and have left the Discord server, etc. But obviously, it was always in the back of our minds that it was something that we were going to do long term anyway. And yeah, to be able to finally announce that we've got our Tier 2, it is going to be on a Monday night, 8 PM. It's going to be on this channel. It's going to be on the SFR channel. So, yeah, look forward to that commentary team to be announced on that. Because can I fire someone from Team McLaren from Tier 2? it's something that could potentially be discussed, Maffin.
That is a point. I haven't discussed it with Will and Kieran yet, but I'm going to say it anyway because I think the plan was going to happen anyway. The quotation marks team owners or team principals that are the #1 driver in the current teams will have the ability to now sign people for their lower tier. Obviously, it will still be in the early stages of discussions for this, but the plan is to have a proper draft night where you pick the 3 other members of your team to join you alongside. Words. Yeah, I know what I'm trying to say. I just can't say it.
There will be for the next season. So what we're trying to do is we're obviously going to try and get both calendars lined up. I believe, if my memory serves me correctly, the Tier 2 calendar finishes about 2 weeks before the Tier 1 calendar finishes, which will then mean we can start Season 6 of SFR Tier 1 and Season 2 of SFR Tier 2 at the same time. We will have a draft night, so the Tier 1 drivers, or the team owners as we're going to call them, have the ability to pick their teammate for Tier 1, and then of course their 2 Tier 2 drivers as well. But yeah, massive things happening in SFR. Hopefully you guys are just as excited as Will, Jamie and I are. Is there anything else you want to add, Jay, before we do wrap things up here tonight in Austria?
I was going to leave it as late as I could, but after all the announcements tonight, I'm in an announcing mood. So next year we have 2 new games coming. So SFR will be opening more leagues.
Yeah, we are.
One of them, of which is the British Touring Car Championship.
Sexual!
And the second one is IndyCar.
Yep.
So obviously more will be announced in due course. Obviously when we get dates for the games, we will of course let you know. But that is... I think that's it for now. So before the Discord goes mad later on tonight / tomorrow, don't worry, it's the tier 2 drivers coming in from the old Discord. Nothing to be alarmed. We're not being bombed. But yeah, unless there's anything... when did you... What are you doing here? Unless there's anything else you want to add, Kieran or Sways, I think that is all for tonight.
Yeah, Sways, anything from you, bud?
Not just right now, but then maybe something next week, I don't know. But obviously, after tonight's race, thoroughly already cannot look forward to it. Enough. Bring it on. But I say, bring on the SFR action.
Indeed, so it's going to be weird for me to actually be able to say this, but that is going to bring us to the end of tonight's stream. Round 6 of Tier 1, as it's now being called in SFR. SFR will be back on your screens on Monday night for the first SFR Tier 2 race on the SFR channel. We will be live from Russia for the Russian Grand Prix in Sochi. So hopefully we'll see as many of you as possible there showing support to the junior tier of SFR. Of course, then I unfortunately will be away next week due to work commitments, so we'll try and get someone else to jump into the commentary box with Mr. Swayze for a race around the Sakir International Circuit in Bahrain. So look forward to that. That will be next Saturday night. But until next time, guys, from myself, Kieran right now. In fact, before that, we've got ACC on the Friday night as well. 3 races next week. SFR Tier 2 on Monday. ACC from the Paul Ricard circuit in France on Friday night. Tier 1 on Saturday as well from Bahrain. Hopefully we'll see all of you guys there. But until next time, thank you so much for watching SFR Supreme Formula Racing, where competition is key. Thank you guys. Good night.